Welcome to the channel and welcome to this my roundup of the best 3D printed Warhammer on Reddit. Now I've done a few videos about 3D printing and about Warhammer, and it's a potentially, contentious issue. Some people think just print what you like, some people think absolutely don't print what you like because, people do own the copyrights to things, etc. Anyway, this is not about that. This is just about, I suppose, the cool stuff that people in the community have been enjoying. I did until recently have a 3D printer. I recently got rid of it because they stink, and I wanted to use this room for stuff like this and working. And I couldn't do that with a 3D printer in here. It was just, the smell was just too much. So yeah, I had a lot of fun printing it. Have a look at my other videos if you want to see some of the cool stuff I printed. But yeah, let's just dive straight into it, I think, and have a look at the subject of this video, which is basically the Printed Warhammer subreddit. I mean, this is like no niche subreddit. This has got, what, 33,000 people hoarding STLs. STLs are the files that you print. Top 5% ranked by size, like across all of Reddit. Like, this is like big, basically. So the top post in the last year, in fact, I'm gonna go, should we switch to all time? Let's just do all time. Do you know what I mean? So here we are. Oh, it's a yeah. Okay, so is this a meme? Okay, so this is an anti-Games Workshop post, isn't it, about how they've handled certain things with regard to ownership of copyright and things like that. What it's like to post in this sub, people asking for STLs. It's not just this sub, it's also on Facebook. There are groups basically about printing 40k stuff. Some amazing stuff on there. Huge groups as well, like not, small. And basically people are just always asking for STLs. Some STLs are free, some are paid. For, artists are trying to make money for their effort, which is absolutely fair enough. But yeah, a lot of people ask for STLs. Why take on small projects? Here we have Dayalis maybe? Why take on small projects when with a bit of trouble you can jump in with an insane one? New Angron, work in progress. Wow, okay, so I thought this was a bloodthirster at first glance. Pretty mean looking sword. So this person looks like they've been 3D modeling themselves. Nice chunky, like almost like dough balls for the anatomy there. A 6-pack of dough balls, gradually getting refined and getting stuff added onto it, and then looks awesome. The tongue looks a little bit weird there for me, but still very good. I think I'm going to call them snooze, don't they? When I saw these Piper Makes stealth, maybe Piper Makes is a 3D modeler, I knew I had to print them in clear resin and only partially paint them to get this true stealth effect. Ooh, okay. This is from Beardy Locks. This is like, the thing is with a photograph, you can't really see that it's clear resin because it could just be grey. But they will look really good in the flesh. I never printed anything in clear resin personally, but I can totally see how it works. And they've got some nice OSL sort of glow there on the lights as well. How would it work? I think it might have been cool actually to have the lights shining through some lights shining through the clear resin. I'm not sure how it would work if you were an invisible unit, in all honesty. Here we have Sinus Bargold. This whole sub in a nutshell. STL, correct. Wow, this is cool. Big build plate, go brr. So yeah, this is like someone's arranged each individual item that you're going to print very well. I spent a lot of time arranging stuff like this myself when printing stuff. Honestly, I found it quite satisfying when it came out quite well. There's a few videos of people who do 3D printing and do 40k, and they rightly say that 3D printing is its own hobby in itself, and this is part of it. Shifting stuff around and 3D software editing to make it go burr. because it's quite satisfying when it does. A pig, a bread, a loaf of bread. No, the bravest soldier of Cadia. Link in comments. This from Icelord399. This is absolutely brilliant. This Cadian pug. I think there's an official model of this, or is this the official model? Either way, look at its just daft expression. I'm kind of against pug dogs, by the way, like real pug dogs. I think it's a little bit cruel to breed them to have such short noses and they get all kinds of problems. But maybe that's a subject for another video. Here we have Dr. Beandog. That's what I'm doing now. Printing minis, printing bases. Yeah, so it's really fun when you're printing this stuff and it's all going well and you're thinking, wow, how much money have I saved printing this, basically. But when you've got to line up some boring print bases, like, I'll be honest, I just bought bases because they're very cheap on eBay, and then you don't have to set them up and print them and clean them, etc., etc. Like, I think save the printing for the what's the word? The fun stuff, basically. Printing bases is a chore. It was a real pain if you have it flat on the print bed as well. It's a nightmare to scrape off, basically. And I was getting all these scraper marks and things like that. Oh, I mean, it was amateurish when I was doing it, to be honest. If you've sussed it, then that's great. But I just think for the effort and the time, just buy them. You can get loads on eBay for a few quid or a few bucks, depending on where you are. Bibbers95. I painted my first printed Warhammer mini this afternoon. I think it turned out great for a first attempt. Well, it absolutely did. You got some like Death Corps of Krieg thing. I'm not a fan of this. I mean, it's obviously meant to be smoke coming out on the trail of these rounds, but it just looks like broccoli to me. Sorry if that's harsh on the 3D modelers or whoever, but yeah, that's cool. I'm not sure what unit this would be in the Astra Militarum. I think there are like guns, like artillery guns like that, but I thought anyway, it looks good. Well done. This is cool. From Makaza1611, Astartes Inquisitor tribute. So if you haven't seen the Astartes video, which was on YouTube before it got taken off YouTube, then I'm sure you can find it somewhere else, but this is a very faithful recreation of a character and object from that. That would look cool, really painted. I would love to have a go painting that, just to try and achieve that rippling effect. It looks a bit more rough than ripply there, if I'm going to be critical, which apparently I am. But that's really cool. Awesome. That would look amazing painted. If I still had my printer, I'd think about printing that, to be honest, if they were selling it or giving it away. What we got here? So usually when you got bright colours, that's people using the like filament printers, from what I've seen, rather than the resin ones. Mine was a resin one. While the sub was down, I was busy, from VonJoy1980. This is a type of Titan. This is an absolutely huge Titan, just from looking around. Great. I mean, if you want to have a massive Titan, 3D printing is your friend, basically. You can see some of the lines there. I think, yeah, this is a filament printer. Looks great. Love it. Be cool to paint that, wouldn't it? Like with an airbrush, you get such good shading and things, and it'd take ages. But yeah, awesome. I'm not sure what I'd do if I had a Titan that big in my possession. Like, could put it back there, but it's like cover the whole wall. Anyway, it's really cool. Wow, look at that. Is that a Void Dragon printed at 200%? I mean, this is kind of where, I mean, that's totally just a copy of a Games Workshop miniature. Like, this is Juicy Wizard. I mean, it's a great print. Looks amazing. How have they? Is that a 1-for-1? Like photogrammetry 3D model created, or was a 3D modeler made that? Either way, looks awesome. Probably not going to be Games Workshop's best friend printing it, but looks good. Honestly, I think, you know what I think would be really cool? I remember when I first started playing 40k, or sorry, when I first got my first ever White Dwarf magazine. It was I remember seeing a picture of a Space Marine, and I thought Space Marines were this big because it was a close up, and like that was the, what's the word? The field of vision, I suppose, of the. I thought, wow, Space Marines are that big, cool. And then I looked in the back bit of the White Dwarf magazine in the catalogue. It was like, wow, you know, that's quite expensive, but still. And then when I actually saw them for realsies, and I was like, how much? So I think it'd be quite cool to have like a 300% size game of 40k one day. Like just print. I suppose, you know, I'm kind of condoning stuff that you probably shouldn't do here, but just imagine printing like 3 times size 40k stuff and having a whole battlefield that was like much bigger. I don't know. Like, I think maybe that's just me being daft as a kid and trying to plug the gaps. Wow, is this the Angron again from Day Alice? Angron is in printer-friendly pieces and getting support as we speak. Wow, this is cool. Looks quite Tyrannid, that tail, doesn't it? And the wings. In fact, I've painted a Hive Tyrant, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly a Hive Tyrant wing. You know what I mean? Like that fleshy bit coming through. No, it's a bit more scaly there, actually. But it looks quite similar. Why not, eh? Wow, amazing. To think those dough balls grew up to be this big, strong Angron. Looks a bit orky, the head there. Very good. You can also see some of the polygons of the cylinder here, which is a little bit of a shame. I don't know if they'd come out in the print, but they'd be very noticeable when you put paint on them. I don't know if you can see what I mean there, but it's like straight lines. Like, it seems weird that if you'd gone to all this effort to make these skulls and this detail, that you'd have like low poly cylinders. But I'm not a 3D artist, and that's very good. That's cool. Wow. My first 2K list from Dover Slayer. I mean, look how cool that looks, man. Looks great. Got Blender. What else we got? Epic Games Launcher. You got to know as a people's. I think that's a Wargaming. Is that World of Warships and World of Tanks? Steam, OBS, Logitech. Good taste. That's what I use. Minecraft, League of Legends, okay. Microsoft Edge, Adobe Acrobat. Is that a little bit of torrenting software? Looks like it could be. Anyway, we're free to scrutinize people's stuff on their desktops if they. Oh, this is right. Joe Pods. They called me a madman. Wow, this is cool. Is that a Thunderhawk? Is that what you call those ones? No way. On top of a Titan. I mean, is that a thing? Do Titans have, what's the word? Aircraft carriers on them, basically? I mean, I don't know. Custom Ripper Swarms, coming soon to a 3D cult near you. Oh, that's pretty grim with the smashed glass, isn't it? And the eye in there. Mr. McAngry. That's cool, though. Painted, that would look great. Oh, are they coming out the liquid that he's, like, lying in or something? Oh, his head's gone. I didn't expect that. That must be these must be different ones. I thought it was a picture of the same thing. So that's a normal Space Marine getting his head just bitten clean off. Like, proper like. That. That's quite funny. A Terminator. Sad. Sad to see. Oh. That one's got a Ripper coming out of it. Like, oh, what a way to go, man. Ripper Swarms? I don't think I'm into that. A little bit grim. What the hell's this? Oh, that's cool. Here's Custom Miniature Maker. How to make insanely detailed bases. Also giving away free texture rollers and cargo container STLs. That's cool. So yeah, you can get these things called rollers that you basically put on putty or on any kind of softish material, and it'll put a texture on for you. And this person is. Are they selling their STLs for? What was it? How do they? It feels. I feel like this stage we went too quick. Okay, so it's got hexagons, so it can go together, and you get your own little patterns. Okay, I mean, blink and you'll miss it. That's the clever bit for me. Like, how do you put this thing together? And there you go. You can get all sorts for like D&D and fantasy for like, what's it like, old-fashioned cobbled streets and things like that. I suppose you could use it for 40k as well, but I think it'd look a bit out of place. Next, we have Justin 20,003, not 2003. STL ID, please. Okay, what are you asking for here, Justin? Whoa, that's cool. What they call aggressors? I think that's an aggressor, or a, yeah. What do the comments say? Did you know? I've gone down a rabbit hole here. Did you know Roman centurions served in imperial legate, and led their legionaries in shield formations that resembled walking tanks? Always fun to see historical inspiration for our modern designs. Okay, it's not what he asked for, but I like the insight. Edo pictures. These true scale termies were a joy to paint. I'm sure they were. They look like they've been dry brushed green, and then the white it's added after. Looks good. Next we got Ecta Dude. Voidwalker exosuit painted up as a crimson fist this time around. I like that. Nice bit of weathering on there. Look at the chips they're painted on. Really cool. Here we have Snur, 59 kg. Finished building a fully printed World Eaters army. I mean, this is absolutely staggering. This must have taken so long to print. And they're very faithful recreations of the original stuff. I don't know what these are, but they look like... Are they not like the AdMech bikes? Or they World Eaters? A lot of jumpy dudes, a lot of shooty dudes. Not a huge amount of variation in them other than the helmets. A lot of tanks. And wow. If you think about it, this person has saved a lot of money by printing their army. Like, no two ways about it. However, they have also probably, used other people's IP and copyrights in a way that they shouldn't have. So, depending on where you sit on that point. Cool. What have we got here? Valentine 93. 3 feet of fun is complete. Who's brave enough to print it? I think these are called mantas or something. Are these like these big tau? They're huge. Slots for bases or rails to add chairs. I mean, great. Look at that. That's thoughtful, isn't it? Like, not just making something, but like making something. I mean, I wouldn't print that. That's like probably like 2 or 3 bottles of resin. Well, depending on how big you print it, I suppose. Anyone know where this print or STL file is from? The Assassin Jacko pose. So here we've got 2 Imperial Assassins, one of them who's getting their butt used as a rifle tripod. Horny jail for whoever made that. Ecta Dude, thank you, Gift Kit, for all the support and motivation you all gave me recently. I hope there's Berserk fans out there. Big swords. I like the sort of stony, flinty effect on the... I like these ones. I'm not so much into these ones. I find the big, huge blade kind of shtick to be a bit too like Japanese RPGs that I'm not really into. You know what I mean? Oh, what's this? J Martinez 729. Happy for my models to appear on 3D printed tabletops. New excellent video on the legality of 3D printing Warhammer. I mean, go and watch this video. This person look they're wearing a suit. I haven't seen this channel before, but they look like they know what they're talking about. I mean, look, they got the whole timeline in sections. This one's about execution and intent. So yeah, if you're interested in the legality of 3D printing, go to 3D printed tabletops. New excellent video, or new 1 year ago. Word Jappel, W Jappel, it's alive. Sax Marine Test Print Mark II, first successful print. I mean, that's funny. I think the saxophone needs more detail. I'll be honest. There's a lot. If you look at the granularity of things that's in all this, your saxophone needs more detail. Saxophone's not just a big bent tube with the skinny at one end and not at the other. Wow, I'm such a boring dork. Next up, we got Moto Ergo Sum. Chapter Icon Airbrush Stencil. That's cool. That's a very good I mean, if it came out cleaner, that would be. To be honest, this paint, I mean, what the hell is that? It looks like flipping when you spit your toothpaste out. I think they need to thin their paints, as Duncan says. Thin your paints, too thin coats, but it's kind of tricky using this, I imagine. I'll be honest, I think I'd stick to using decals. It's a good idea. And maybe would work better on flat surfaces. But it's like step 1, okay, step 2, okay, step 3, okay, great. Step 4, it's like kinda, I mean, sure, it's good enough for tabletop, I suppose, at a glance, but anyway, Crazed Squid Lord. I'm being quite critical. When I started recording this, I didn't expect to be very critical of people, but here we are. Crazed Squid Lord. Almost all my printed models might have a thing for big stumpy robots. Wow, definitely got a thing for big stumpy robots. That's cool. Is that a force field shield? Is that some magnets on there? Or just like piles of cash this Titan's got? That's cool. That would look quite cool in a cabinet, wouldn't it? See, on these cabinets, you got these like holes because you can move them everywhere. It kind of spoils it a little bit, doesn't it? Some little caps would be good, or some like paint on there. Anyway, Crazed Rabbits. I think we've seen Crazed Rabbits before. When you really need the print to succeed. I like it. Got the Tech Priest on there. It's a Tech Priest or a Tech Marine. Yeah. Anyway, doing the good stuff. Tribute to Astartes fan-made YouTube series. I think we've seen this one before from Makaza. They've actually printed this and painted it. That's cool. I notice here that the chain links aren't complete. They're like partial. That's a little bit of a shame. I think that there's enough plastic here to hold up the ball that you could get away with this being a normal chain. I can't remember. Maybe this is how the chains are in the video. I haven't watched it for quite a while. I might be wrong, but it stands out to me. Cranky Doodle. Test print and paint scheme for my Imperial Guard. That's cool. It looks a little fuzzy. Maybe it's the material with dry brushing on it. But that Imperial Eagle's a little off, but yeah, that's cool. It's a big thumbnail. I don't mean like image thumbnail, I mean like the actual thumbnail. They're quite manicured. Like, I chew my nails. This person, I think, gets like manicured. Or files them at least. Fantastic. 10 out of 10 for the nails. Who we got here? Das Guppy, now Kiss. Wow, this is amazing. Like, that's obviously an orc vehicle of some kind. A stomper maybe, or Gorkanaut, Morkanaut, I don't know what you want to call it. You could play it as a few things, I imagine. And then this big, is that a chaosy? I think chaos have feet like that, don't they? Either way, awesome. I'm gonna do. Look at this from Maclight. STL Baston printed this chunky boy. Absolutely love it. If he's not like a captain or a lieutenant, then the world is wrong. Love. That's absolutely brilliant. I think that might be my favourite one so far. Imagine a whole army of these. Wow, no way. Anger on the Demon Primarch of World is painted. So I'm surprised that the painted one hasn't gone to the top, to be honest. Or maybe because it's 3D printing, that's why people are more interested in the models. But like, wow, this looks awesome. Next, the head and the neck, I don't know, the head still looks funny, like, the tongue looks a little funny as well. But what a cool model. Well done to Dayalis. Wow, look at that. My new Warlord Titan head. I mean, that's kind of freaky, isn't it? I think, it's obviously like inspired. Is it like Roman or Greek sculpting, which is originally inspired by? But I think they use it for like Sanguinius and for some Blood Angels characters. Imagine that in gold, like on a Titan or something, with like red glowing eyes. That would look fucking terrifying. Sorry for the language there. Ector Dude, Void Walker exosuit. I painted one more this time for far more heretical as a word bearer. Wow, that's cool. I like the writing on the. You can see here the layers of the printing, the different strata of the print, and also on here. It's a bit of a shame when that happens. Looks good. Looks really good. The glow of the plasma weapon is painted very well. I've tried that a few times and just fail every time. 2 more. Wow. Destroy that airship. Fire all weapons. That's cool. That's one of those AdMech walkie things, isn't it? That's great. I'll be honest, I don't like the whole stuff's coming out of barrels. Just find it looks a bit naff to me. Wow, finally finished my all resin Talmander, printed on any cubic mono X. Great, really good. Quite bold to go with that kind of edge highlighting, I think, on a model like this. Should make it really big. Yeah, if you see, kind of looks a little. I mean, the model's absolutely fantastic, but some of that edge highlighting, it's like bold move. Really good. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Move around. Woohoo! Some stuff. That's an Amazon box, so that's a big old model. Confirmed big old model. One more. What's the first thing you print with a $500 printer? A $750 model. Yeah, I think this is a Tyranid Harpy, is it? Is that what it's called? From Spam Monstick. And here we are, Blood Angel Jurek. That looks good. Let me just open up the zoom enhance. Yeah, you can see quite a few layers there with the printing. I think if you print stuff small, to get a good photo, you got to zoom in a lot. That's kind of one of the other reasons I like to print stuff bigger. It's because it's harder to notice those sort of lines so much. There you go. Okay, so this has been my little roundup of the top posts on Printed Warhammer subreddit. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other boring stuff that YouTubers say. But I've enjoyed doing this, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. So, yeah, take care of yourself, and thanks for watching. Peace time, bye.